Hi, David Hood here, and this video is about on-page SEO, specifically the top three on-page SEO factors that are going to contribute to 90% or more of your success, generally speaking. Now, there are additional factors like engagement factors. For example, if someone comes to your site and they're always leaving your site very quickly and going to another search result, Google is going to recognize that. So this is not considering that. It's considering what you build on your site, how to build it properly. And there's really only three major things that are going to count for 90% of whether or not you do it right. So first of all, you need to have done your market and keyword research before you enter the next step, because without that, you don't really know what you're building for. And if you don't know what you're building for, it's like, all right, I want to build a house, and then just going and starting to nail wood to other wood, and you don't really know what you're going for, and ultimately what you come out with is nothing. So the number one and number two is the URL and the title. If you consider a single isolated page, don't consider any off-page SEO or how it interacts with any other parts of your site, 90% or more is going to be the title and the URL. Those two things together. So if you get those right and do those well, then all the rest of the stuff you can just completely not do that well and still be fine, generally speaking. Now, there's a couple of good things about this is that a lot of people, when they look at 10 factors, they'll spend more time on that and it'll be over-optimized. And so you don't want it to be over-optimized, and this is kind of what makes it not look over-optimized. You do the URL and the title, and then you let the rest of what you build just kind of come naturally. Build content for your market and something that is engaging. I want to emphasize, despite the fact that I'm using 90% in multiple cases, this is not a pie chart decision. And this is not necessarily something where it's like, all right, 90% of the value is this, and then they go on to the next factors. It's more that this is the first place that they're going to look. Your URL and your title tells you a lot. You can only have one title and you can only have one URL for a single page. And so they take a lot of meaning from that. Now, there are additional factors that can come in and throw these out of the way. So if you take the same 1,000-word article and you put it on 100 pages on your site, and it's the same 100 pages across it, that's not something that, your titles and your URLs can be great, but there's something else can trip you up. So that's why it's not a pie chart decision. They're going to look at other factors, but generally speaking, barring something wrong, something going very wrong, this is the vast majority of what they're going to take the meaning of a page to be about. Now, there's lesser things like your H1 tags or your outbound links. Not really. The other meta information isn't that critical. You can put it in there, and it's kind of 6 of one, half a dozen of another. The content, it's really more important that the content be engaging than anything else. It's not necessarily, oh, I want to get my keyword in there a certain amount of times. Yeah, I mean, I would say lean more towards not putting your keyword in your content repeatedly, only a few times, and after that use variations or trim it down and do whatever you can to make it seem like you're not trying too hard to rank for it. Again, more importantly, if you get your URL and your title right, is to create engaging content that a visitor will respond positively to, because if you do start getting traffic and the visitors think it stinks, Google's going to figure that out pretty quickly. And this doesn't mean you have to have the best content ever. It just means that your content can't be really bad, and it has to actually be something that pulls them in and gets them interested. For example, a video. A video is great content. It's highly engaging, and Google tends to reward that, not because they like video, but because, well, they do like video because it provides a better result for their searchers. Essentially, there's an infinite amount of minutia that you can do here. There's so many reports where I'll see, and they'll add another 20 or 100 things to this list. And while technically some of them are true, there's really an infinite amount of things that you can do, but your time is more valuable, or my time is more valuable, and we're going to work on, there's so many more things to work on first that you never get to some of those things. It's just not really something you think about, or you only think about it when you're in the middle of doing a work and you have to make a really quick decision. That's about it. And even then, you just kind of want to lean towards being more conservative on all other parts of your site, while being maybe a little bit more aggressive with the URL and the title. Okay, so the final piece is interlinking. Okay, and this, originally when I set up here the single isolated page, well, in reality that's not true. Google looks at all the different pages on your site, and then it looks at off-page. So we're not going to consider off-page. We're going to consider all the stuff on your site. So what sites link to this page, and what sites is this page linking to itself? So it's another way of saying this down here. That is absolutely critical to Google understanding what is relevant on your site. And so what you really want to do is you want to consider relevancy, and you don't want to link two pages that are sort of relevant. You want to only link pages that are very relevant to each other. And there's a very specific way of building this that if you've done your market research right, and you understand how this works, there's a very specific way to interlink that is actually not that complicated. And so if you want to know more about that, definitely give me a call and we can talk about how this fits within your current SEO project. But those are the top three by far. If you get these three things right, the URL, the title, and the interlinking of your site, the rest of it is is extremely minor compared to that, and you should generally rank pretty well. So let me know if you have any questions. Thanks for watching. Have a great day. Bye.